What's up, you damn gorgeous and beautiful gamers? Welcome back to Role-Playing James' Muriel Corner in the internet, where we like to discuss about RPGs. If you like the content, if you like these conversations with Muriel James, I would very much like to invite you, like always, to hit that like button, because it really helps me like you have no idea. And also, remember to subscribe to the channel, because most of the people that watches my content are, in fact, not subscribed to my channel. That being said, let's get right into it. This is a Bloody Paladin, Scarlet Paladin, Crimson Paladin. I'm still figuring out the name. You will probably have seen it on the thumbnail of the video. But essentially, this is a Paladin that uses blood build, as well as incantations, miracles, and electricity, and all that kind of stuff that make him be a vengeful Paladin. It's a very versatile Paladin, and the damage that it has, it's very strong as well. That being said, let's start speaking about the stats that I have for this character. And I also would like to invite you to tweak these little things a little bit more. We have bigger on the first side, as a first stat. So, you will notice in here that I have 26 and bigger. Do bear in mind that I am a little bit of a more experienced player, so being that the case, I do not need that much health, so that is why I have it so low. But if you're a new player, if you're a beginner, then you probably need a little bit more bigger. Feel free to tone down 10 points from Dexterity to have it in 30. You will still have it in 40. 40 is our ultimate goal. But you will still have it on 40. We will see that later on the gameplay section, to have 35 bigger points. On mind, 15, it's enough, it's more than enough to be able to be casting the spells that we will be casting with this build. Endurance, 15 points are enough to be able to wear the armor and the weapons and the gear that we will be using for this build. Strength, that is a side effect. I did not meant to place those points in there. You will probably not need those points, just be sure to be able to wear the Uchigatana, and that's it. Dexterity, your main goal is to be able to reach that 40 point ASAP as soon as possible. And then, after you have managed to get all of these stats, you're going to be placing points evenly into Faith until you get that to 60. This is the mid-game build, but as you level up, it's just going to get stronger and stronger thanks to the damage output that Faith is going to be giving you as you level up. That being said, let us move on over to the equipment of the build. So, like I said, as a main weapon, we're going to have an Uchigatana. You're going to want to have a keen affinity on the weapon, because keen is going to increase your dexterity scaling to B. Remember that we are a melee caster character that focuses his melee damage on dexterity. So that B scaling, it's going to be benefiting from those 40 points that you have right there. You will also see that we have Bloody Slash onto the weapon. It's a very useful skill. It's very strong, it's highly damaging, and the range that it has, it's going to allow you to get rid of those enemies ASAP. To get this Ash of War, all you have to do is come down here to Fort Height. On top of the fort, at the upper tower, you will find a knight that's going to be using this Ash of War. As soon as you kill him, he's going to give it to you. Then we have, well, Finger Seal. I'm just using whatever I have at the moment. Remember that this is mid-game, mid-build, so you don't actually have to be worrying about that much. There are definitely better seals to be used, but for the time being, this is more than enough. Armor. Twinned set. I do not want to spoil the quest for you, but essentially it all happens inside here, at the Table of the Lost Grace. Remember that lady that you cheeky bastards like to hug? Yeah, she's going to be part of the quest, as well as the NPC that's wearing the armor. Just speak to them, and eventually you will get keep speaking to them, and eventually you will be able to get the armor set. As for the Crimson Hood, remember that we are a Crimson Paladin. Yeah, it's part of the fashion, it's part of the set. What do you expect? You will get this as soon as Roderica heads over to the Table of Lost Grace. It's going to be on the Stormvale Castle, which is it's up here, yeah, at the Stormvale Castle. I will be having a clip right now on screen so that you can be able to see where can you get this thing. Remember that Roderica has to be here first before the Crimson Hood appears in the castle. Moving on to the talismans. First we have First we have the Two Fingers Heirloom. It increases our faith. You will get this one right here at Liurnia in the Purified Ruins. Explore this little place and you will eventually get it. This is the one that is increasing our fate to 38. Right now I have 33 fate, but those little extra points that helps us to reach faster our goal, which is essentially being able to get that 60 fate, is ideal. But feel free to change it as well. The one that you cannot change is Sacred Scorpion Charm. It raises the holy attack but lowers damage negation. Ideally, this essentially increases the damage output of your spells. These beautiful spells that we use as clerics. This is one of my favorites. Anyways, it's going to increase them. Well, not of that one, but it's going to increase the damage of this one. I also like this one so very much because, as you will see right here, this is easily castable. I don't know, dude. It looks nice. It's highly damaging and it's fast attacking as well. On to the final talisman. You can have 4, but this one, the Earth Tree's Favor. It raises maximum HP, stamina and equip load. Ideal to be able to wear this specific armor that we have right here. Remember that we don't have that much of endurance, so as much as we can get equip load, the better. It's going to increase our stamina, which is nice, as well as health. You will get this. This is actually quite tricky, but do you remember the where you started? The Stranded Graveyard, or is it not? Yeah, it's in the Stranded Graveyard. Inside there is a lock fork door, which will require you to use one of these little fellas that we have right here. Those little stone blades, I don't seem to remember where do I have them. They should be somewhere around here, but I am dumb. Here they are. Stone Sword Key. You're going to need one of those to be able to enter that place. And that is essentially all of the equipment that you need. But we are not done yet, my boy. No, we are indeed not. You also need a specific mix of flasks. For these ones, you will see that I have Dexterity, not Crystal Tear. Increases our dexterity by 10 points. Remember that I told you that you could have 30 points on dexterity? That is because this one is going to give you 10 extra more, so that is how you reach those 40 points. We also have Lightning Shrouding Cracked Tear, temporarily boost lightning attacks. Do bear in mind that these buffs last for a long period of time. So essentially, as you will see here, it increased my dexterity all the way to 50. It should be 40 if you decided to go for the 35 bigger path. But to get the dexterity one, it's right here on Liurnia as well. It's fairly easily to get it. You can go to the Ball Prawn Shack, and it's going to be right over here. Now the next one, you're gonna have to fight for it, my boy. It's a little bit trickier. There is an NPC on this, not an NPC, a little boss fight on this minor earth tree. As soon as you kill him, he's going to give you the Lightning Shrouding Crack Tear. And that is all the setup that you need. So now let us speak about what you are going to be doing. Remember that, well, mainly I've seen so many people telling you that it's a better idea that if you're a cleric and you want to increase your weapon on your katana, which has dexterity scaling, you could place sacred in there, but you will notice that when I place sacred in there, I have 413 damage. And then I'm going to be casting Golden Bow and Flasks of Wondrous Physic. That's 478. I also forgot to mention where do we get the Golden Bow, which is going to increase your damage and your defense as well. It's right here on the Corpse Stench Shack. It's harder to get, I know, but it is what it is. You also, since we are not going to be using that Ash of War actually, we're going to use a different one. Remember that we are a dexterity kind of character, so we benefit ourselves from dexterity scaling weapons. So it's a better idea. This is always something that I tell you guys in my videos. This is how you increase properly your damage. But let's change that Ash of War to the one that we had before. We're going to place quality on that Ash of War. You will notice that right now I have 16, which it seems to be less damage. But what happens when I do this? Electrify Armament. It increases my damage to 470. It lasts for a long period of time, and you will get that specific spell from a knight that is going to be patrolling down here from the Artist's Shack. It's going to be patrolling on all of this road, around this road. I'm sorry about that. But then we place our Flasks of Wondrous Physic, and then we place our Golden Bow. And right now, we're going to have 519 damage, which is huge. It's tremendous damage, and it leads us to the showcase of the build. I always like to showcase my builds in here, not in bosses, because I do not want to spoil you guys. But it's still sufficient enough to be able to learn how powerful this thing is. Let's find our first enemy, which is that knight that we have right there. Hello, sir. Would you like to have a proper duel with me, sir? I'm dumb like that. But take a look at that damage. On 3 hits, I am able to deal 1,100 damage. And there you go. You're dead. And then we have a couple more enemies around here. So the very interesting thing about this build is that most of these little characters, they are going to be dying fairly easily from this kind of attacks, normal attacks. But when you're fighting bosses, you're also stacking, oh, look at that damage. You're also stacking that bleed. You will see that I have 700 damage with that specific attack, which is crazy for a plus 12 katana. 700 damage. Imagine this is potentially 1,500 damage when you're fighting with a plus 25 katana. But do remember that we also have our spells. Whoopsies! That was not proper showcase, huh? If you charge this one, it's going to cause tremendous damage. But also, this one that I like so very much. Please, sir, you're making me look bad. Get away from me! Oh dear. Well, yeah, you're dead now. It's like a you see? I wasn't actually paying attention to the fight because I was more worried about the showcase. But you get the idea. This is a very strong build. Like I said, this also has build up on blood loss. And ideally what is going to happen while you're exploring around the world, it's very easy to clear enemies, little mobs of enemies. But also when you're fighting against bosses, you're still dealing tremendous amounts of damage. I'm not showcasing bosses in here because I do not want to spoil them for you, but on top of that high damage that you have from all of the buffs that you have on your katana, you also have the potential to cause blood loss on the boss, which is going to decrease his health bar by percentage, not by damage on itself, but by percentage. And you could potentially cause blood loss depending on the health pool of the boss. You could potentially cause blood damage for 3k damage or 2k damage. So, all in all, this is a very versatile build. It's a very strong build. You have a strong main weapon. You have blood loss on the weapon. You have all of your spells that are... I did not showcase them properly because I was more focusing on the showcase. But if you keep your distance, if you mind your surrounding, and also if you fight with this thing, you have a well-rounded character which is very powerful, and it is very beginner friendly, which is going to make your journey through Elden Ring a piece of cake. I have been using it quite a lot and it works charms, it works wonders. And like I said, when you level up the weapon to 25, you can potentially deal 1,500 damage on one hit, and you will notice that it attacks really damn fast. That being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video of the Crimson Paladin, and remember that if no one has told you today that you're a gorgeous and beautiful gamer, then you are indeed. Have a beautiful day, and remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel before you close the door. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a beautiful day. Bye bye.